All right, hey y'all. Welcome to Not Your Average Chit. I'm Rand. I'm your host for the evening and host for the channel. Not Your Average Chit is a channel that I've started to um, talk about games that I find interesting, which are those that have fairly simple rule sets but have some quirky gameplay. So first up, just as a test for the channel, I'm gonna run through Coffee Roaster from Saashi, which is a Japanese designer and publisher, and it's a solo game, which makes it pretty easy for a test run through. So Coffee Roaster, um, the player will be, I'll be playing as an actual coffee roaster, trying to make um, the best beans and roast for my coffee in my cup. The way that I do it, it's kind of a bag builder. There's going to be different things that are going to be put into the bag, but depending on the type of bean that I'm um, roasting, there's going to be a different starting set in the bag. So I'm going to be doing the Panama SHB, which is a beginner, and I'm going to play through three different um, bean roastings, and we'll see how things go. So give me just a sec to get set up. All right, so for the Panama SHB, I'm going to need 15 zero beans. So I'll go ahead and count those out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So those are the 15. Now I'm going to get 2 of the hard beans. These are beans that are not good for me. They're kind of waste that goes into the bag. Then we've got 2 humidity. Then 2 cracked beans, bad beans. 1 body, which is a red chip. And then we have 2 acidity. And then we're going to have 3 aroma. Hey Carmen, thanks for stopping by. So that comes to a total of 27 in the bag. And what I'm going to do is, because I only have 2 humidity in the bag, this turn counter is going to start on this space. It says 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, 7 or 8. There's a bunch of these cards that come in the game, and so depending on how much humidity you put in the bag, that tells you where your marker is going to go to start the game. And then the number below tells you how many chits you need to actually draw out of the bag. So in this first round, I'm going to draw 9 chips out of the bag. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going to try and group these together. 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, so now that I've drawn, I have some options. This humidity immediately goes away and goes out of the game. So it's kind of like a waste in the bag, just to start the bean off. And next I've got this body and the aroma that I can decide to do things with. And actually I can do things with these zeros as well. These hard beans are basically worthless. They'll go back in the bag at the end, for sure. The body and aroma can be used for a couple of different things. On the roasting board, we've got a left side and a right side. On the left side, it kind of gives me immediate actions. If I use both a 1 and a 0 bean, I'm going to get a kind of wild card flavor profile. So the body, the aroma, and the acidity, this can be used for any of them. If I use a body token here, I can pull 2 additional chips out of the bag. If I use a body, acidity, or an aroma here, I can place 2 back in the bag and then draw an additional 2. That's better once there's more things in the bag. Then the aroma allows me to draw 5, trash 2 of them, so put them back into the box, and then put 3 back into the bag. And then finally, if I use any of the flavor profiles, I can trash 3 different things. The bad beans, the burnt beans, and the smoke flavor that you get. So those are things that I can do on the left side of the board. Then we have the right side of the board. Each one of these profile tokens can be used for 3 different things, and depending on which they are. So first there's the body, and the body would allow me to concentrate things. If I have 2 numbers, say let's say that I have a 2 and a 1, I can actually combine those and make a 3 bean to concentrate things. With an acidity, the green tile, I can do preservation. As I move the turn marker up, these beans are going to get roasted and they go to a higher flavor profile, a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4. And you'll see that I probably don't want those to get too high. So if I use a green, I can then preserve 2 tokens at a time. So if I choose to preserve these, they could stay at a 0 instead of being upgraded to a 1. Finally, there's the aroma. And the aroma allows you to do the opposite of the body. So let's say that I have a 3, I could then divide it up into a 2 and a 1 so that I have 2 chips. So that gives me a few different options. And then if I use these for the profile option, so doing the concentration, the preservation, or the splitting up, then the tile chip would come onto this side in a spot where it fits. And those could, if I get 2 spots filled, I get these abilities, which will go onto my cup board. The first ability is a 3. It takes up the first spot over here and just acts like a 3 bean. Second is the sweetness. When scoring beans, we're going to score for the 3 different flavor profiles and then also sweetness. Sweetness is another way to earn points with that flavor profile. Then there is a draw 2, keep 1 ability for the cup for the scoring. Then we have a I'm not remembering this one. I've only played this a few times, so like I said, this is a test. We're just going to see how it goes. Let me look this one up really quick. I've got my copy from Taiwan, so I've got only Chinese rules. There's no English here, so I've always got to reference stuff online. So just bear with me for a moment. Bum-ba-da-bum. Alright, that one just allows me to redraw 2. So this one I could take 2 of the, I'll draw 2, and then, I'll fill this up, and then I'll put 2 chips back into the bag, and then redraw 2 more. Then the final one is giving me an extra tray. Any beans that I don't want that I pull out of the bag, I can use on this tray to keep them out of the actual cup of coffee. This chip just gives me an extra tray to put 2 more chips on. So here's what I've drawn, and let's see how I can make these useful. I really don't want to use very much. I only have one body in the bag, and the body actually helps me with my flavor. So I don't want to use this. I'll make sure that goes into the bag. And there's not really anything useful I can do with the aroma chip right now. So I'm just going to move on to the next turn, putting everything back in the bag. Before I do that, these zeros are going to get roasted into ones. So I had 4 zeros, now I have 4 ones. And this roast counter helps me keep track of how much coffee I have in my bag, like what the roast is. And that's useful because the bean that I'm roasting has an ideal roast. So for this roast, if I have in my cup at the end of scoring 11 rank beans, then I'm going to get 5 points. The ideal number, like the sweet spot, is 13, and if I hit 13, I get a full 10 points. And then there's a kind of diminishing returns as the roast gets higher and higher. But I need at least an 11, and I need lower than an 18. 18 is just too roasted, too burnt. So end of turn, I'm going to put these into the bag. And because I'm moving on to the 10 spot, these two kind of smoke burn markers also go in. So I'm just going to shake up the bag. And now I'm on the next round. I'm going to draw 10 chips. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So there's not much I can do this turn. Everything's just going to go roast up, and these red spots represent crack in coffee roasting. They mention in the rule book that it's a special thing related to coffee roasting that I guess just accelerates the like once it gets to a certain temperature, it accelerates the roasting. So that's represented by doing 2 up rather than only 1. So on this round, this 1 will convert into a 3, and then all these zeros are going to convert into 1s. So that's 7 zeros, right? Yeah, 7 zeros. And now I'll get 7 ones. Oh, sorry, they're not 1s, they're 2s, because it's up by 2. Apologies. And 7. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things that went up by 2. So that's 16 total. And I'll add it to the 4. So now my roast counter is around 20, which is actually pretty high. I know that there are a lot more zeros in there because we've done, let's see, 8 right here, and then I think 2 more in the last round. So, I mean, this is a kind of a high roast, but my beans are kind of concentrated. So I'm not going to score just yet. Maybe I'll try and freeze some things or divide things up. So I'm going to put all these back in the bag and move on to the next round. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I'll group these so we can see them better. All right, so we've got some 1s, some 2s, an acidity, and an aroma. All right, I've actually got a kind of nice option here. The aroma will allow me to split things. So I could split this 2 into 2 ones, which is great because my roast counter is already kind of high. And then the acidity, I can use my acidity to actually trash some things. And I have 3 aroma and 2 acidity in the bag. So I know that I have a chance to actually get some more over here. So I'm going to go ahead and use the acidity here and trash these. The hard beans I can't trash, so they're just going to stay and ruin my coffee. But then I'm going to use my aroma, and I'm going to split up my 2 into 2 ones. Now everything's going to roast, so these 4 ones become 4 twos, and these 2 twos become 2 threes. And this aroma needs to just find a spot over here because I've used it for its ability. Now all these are going to go back in the bag, and I'm feeling pretty good about my roast right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and score and show you how scoring works. So first up, we've got a 2. It's going to come into this spot. Then we have a 0, which I like. That'll keep my roast down. I've got another 2, and then another 2. So I'm already up to 6. I'm aiming for a 13, and I've got 4 spots out of 10 filled. I'd say I'm doing okay. There's the next one, a 3. Now, I have a choice to either put this 3 over here or on the tray. The 3 adds quite a bit, but I'm just going to go ahead and risk it. And the bad bean, I'm going to go ahead and put on the tray, sort it out. Next up, we have a 1. That's great. I like to see that. And next up after that, we've got a 0. So right now we're at 9, and I need to get at least 2 more to even score any points for my roast. We've got another 3. That's great. But you know what? That's a little too high for my taste. I'll put it over here. A 0, and we're getting really close here. I hope I don't draw any more zeros. An aroma. And a hard bean. I'll put that to the side and hoping that I can get a good one. Come on, an aroma. That's not good. So here's how it ended up. We're going to go through the scoring, and I'll pull this scoring sheet out just so that everybody can see. I'm going to score this. This would be written the Panama SHB. The roast, I'm not going to score any points for my roast because remember, over here, according to the roast, I need at least 11. And I've only scored 2, 4, 6, 9, 10. So I don't even have 11. So I'm going to score 0 for the roast. Next is the flavor. And the flavor is looking at how many different flavor chips I have in my cup of coffee. Unfortunately, I only have 1, so that's only 1 point. Next is skill. Skill looks to see if I have 3 of a type of bean. And by type of bean, I mean just the roasting quality. The highest I have is both 0 and 2, which are only 3. Having 3 of a kind only scores me 1 point. So right now I'm at 2 points. And the way that you can tell your points for the skill in roasting, like having that same, is just subtract 2 from your most, like your highest number of type of bean. So I only have 2 points total, and I have 0 negatives because none of the bad stuff actually ended up in my cup of coffee. So I've started with 2, which isn't great, but I'll just go ahead and write this down. So Panama SHB. And roast is a whopping 0 points. Flavor is just 1. Skill is just 1. Minus a 0. So only 2 points. Hope you guys can see that all right. Hey Josh, good to see you around. This is just a test stream just to see how it goes, but you can give me some feedback as we go along. So after I've finished this roast, I'm going to move on from group 1, which is what Panama SHB came out of. Inside this envelope is all of these types of coffee. So we've got group 1, which I just did, the Panama SHB. Then moving on to group 2, because I scored so lowly, I can only take from these, the Guatemala, the Costa Rica, the Zambia, and the Hawaii Kona number 1. Depending on my result there, then I'll do a group 3. So open this up, pull out the next one. Group 2, I'm just going to take the Hawaii Kona and set the bag up. So write Hawaii Kona here. Kona 1. All right. So the Hawaii Kona wants 14 zeros, 4 hard beans, 7 humidity, 2 bad beans, 4 body, which is pretty high, 4 acidity, and 2 aroma. And those flavor profile are pretty nice for the abilities that they give. And you'll get a different, each coffee will give you, like each coffee card will actually give you a different proportion of abilities to use through the game. So let me set this bag up really quick. Clear the board of the last round. All right, so we've got 14. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Right, so those are in. Now I'll get the hard beans. I need 4 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 7 humidity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. By the way, Josh, I don't claim to be an expert at this game at all. As you can see, I only scored 2 points in the last roasting. 2 bad beans. I need 4 body. 4 acidity. 2, 3, 4. And then 2 aroma. So one of those can go back. And then these can all go back. Alright, so we're all set up. Get these out of the way. Alright, and we're good to go. So we'll shake this guy up and get rolling. Alright, so we've got, move this out of the way. So now that the humidity is higher, I'm only going to draw 6 out first. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. A lot of humidity. These are going to go up to a 1, 1, 2, and my roast counter goes to 2. This moves up. These go back in the back. Now I'll draw 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. I don't think I need to use my body for anything at the moment. Yeah, I'll leave it for now and throw them back in the bag. These will grow up, go to a 2, this will go to a 1, and this will go up by 2. Put everything back in the bag. No, the hard beans are just always a 0, as far as I know. I only have the Chinese rules, so I explained earlier. I got this from Chris Snyder over at Double Down Dice, and I only have the Chinese rules. So you're welcome to correct me, Josh. So yeah, now drawing 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, the reason I don't think that the hard beans turn into a 0 is that hard beans just stay hard, and even after they're roasted, they're not getting any better. But I could be wrong. Let's see if I can find that really quick. You are right. The hard beans do go to a 0. I'll remember that next time I pull one. So we've got all kinds of opportunity here. This is going to go up to a 1. I've got a 2 that'll go to a 3. Body and acidity to use. You know what? I kind of want to just draw some more. And maybe I'll go ahead and use this acidity over here. Maybe. No, I'll use it to throw 2 back. So I'll throw these 2 back and draw 2 more. Humidity and a bad bean. Now I'll use an acidity, I guess, to trash. No, we'll wait and see. So my 0 will go up to a 1, and then the 2 will go up to a 3, and that adds 2 here, and everything goes in the bag. This goes up. Now I'm drawing 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the humidity goes out. So I've got an acidity to work with, and then a lot of stuff grown up. Let's see. I'm just going to let everything grow up. That seems like a good plan right now. So these 2 can go back in the bag, and then 4 zeros, I'll keep 1 and exchange that. So 4 zeros become 4 ones. And then the 1 becomes a 2. And that's 6 things going up. So my roast is now at 12. Everything in the bag. And the counter goes up. Make sure these come in the bag. So now everything's going to go up by 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, now it makes sense for me to actually trash stuff since I've drawn 3. So I'm going to go ahead and use my body since I have 4 of those in the bag. I only have 2 aromas, so I'll use the body to trash these things and get them out of the bag completely. There we go. And these are all going to go up by 2. So that's going to be 10 total over here. And the 1s turn into 3s, and everything goes in the back. So move up to 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Humidity goes out. Organize these. Alright, so I've got a body out on the board and an acidity out on the board. I've got the 0 bean over here, the hard bean. So I've got a body and acidity. I'm thinking I might just want to grow. I may want to use this opportunity to combine some things. So maybe combine these 2s. I don't know. Yeah, let's go ahead and combine the 2s. So the combining is using, I always have to look. Combining is going to use my body here. I really need to do a play rate for myself. So the body is going to be used, and let's go ahead and add, let's go ahead and use it towards a extra tray, I think. And then the rest can just do what they do. So the hard bean, as was corrected, will become a 0. The 0 will become a 1. The 2 2s will grow up into, oh sorry, those combined into a 4 using the body. And then the 3s become 4s. And everything goes in. And yeah, now I'm going to draw, you know what, I think I'm just going to go ahead and score now. So we'll start using the cup board, and over on the cup board, the first thing to come out is some smoke. Next, we've got a 0, this junk bean. Put that on the tray. Next, we've got some more smoke. It's looking good. Some body. Acidity. Bad bean. Oh, that's not good to have in my cup. Some negative points. More negative points. Some more acidity. Right now I've got my flavor profile right on. Some more body. Move this over. A 4. I am not going to hit my roasting goal, that's for sure. A 1, an aroma, and then a 1. So I did absolutely terrible. Like I said, I am not good at this game. But just wanted to use it to test stuff out, and just thought a solo game would be best for it. So we've got on the, coming over here, on the roast, I'm going to get a whopping 0 again. Flavor, I hit the profile spot on, and so that's going to net me 3 points. My skill is going to be 0 because I only have 2 of the same instead of 3, and then my negatives is going to be -3. So I'm going to score a 0 on that one. Doing quite well. I'm going to go ahead and put these back in and then go to the next group. And in the next group, we need to do a beginner, and we'll do Kenya. I'm pretty sure that when the marker goes to the smoke, you add it. But again, I'm working from Chinese rules, and I can look it up. So start this over. It's going to be humidity of 8. So the smoke only goes in at the beginning of the draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So those are there. Those will come out. I need 4 acidity, 3 aroma, 3 body, 2 bad beans. I've got my stuff there, and I'll go ahead and empty the bag. Yeah, I'm really doing this just to make sure that the YouTube stuff works out for tomorrow's stream, and make sure that like the lighting setup and everything is okay and the cameras work out. This is a solo game that I've only started playing recently, so I'm not like a concrete on the rules, but moving forward, it's going to be stuff that I'm a lot more comfortable with. So I need, how many of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. But definitely thank you for chiming in. I really appreciate it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hard beans. Everything in the bag. I'll start this roast counter over. Get this out of the way. And we're good to go on the last roast. So drawing 6. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are out. These roast up to a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I go to 4 on my roast counter. Yeah, the white balance is changing a little bit because the sun's going down. I've got some natural light coming in through the window, and now that the incandescent is taking over, it's getting a little bit more yellow. But no, definitely don't stop. Keep commenting. I appreciate it. I appreciate rules corrections. Moving on to the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And also, I don't plan on doing a lot of larger games. Most of what I'm focusing on is stuff like this that's fairly small and simple. I think I plan doing larger games. I think the largest one I plan to do soon would be like Diluvia Project, which will be fairly large, and I'll have to see if it even looks good, if it's readable, to even decide if I want to stream it or not. Alright, so we've got aromas and acidity. My target roast is 10, and it actually wants some sweetness in the profile, 2 bodies, and an aroma. I don't think I want to use an aroma. I don't really need the acidities, but the acidities aren't going to help me. The acidities are the ones that keep my roast the same. So these are all going to grow up. My zero, or my hard bean will turn into a 0, my 2 zeros turn into 1s, and the 1 turns into a 2. And we go up by 4. Hey, what's up, guys? I'd love to do Deluvia projects on here. I hear that it's getting a reprint soon, and it'd be nice to get some attention around it. I think it's an awesome city building game. The income tracks work really well. We're going to move up to the 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So Chris and Anthony, do you guys have this game? And I'm wondering how you guys play it. Do you do kind of like we used to do with video games and kind of hot seat past the controller? Goodness, where did that piece go? There it is. Try not to drop pieces. So I've got 8. These come out. And that's what we got to work with. And again, I don't really think I should be keeping this one. I'm just going to change this real quick. There we go. So I'm just going to let everything grow up right now. So these will grow into zeros. A 0 grows into a 1. My 2 grows into a 3. So only 2 things actually went up. So I'll do 2 there. And these go in. We'll go to 9. I'll make sure these are out. And on to drawing 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Humidity goes away, and then I've got this to work with. I need 2 bodies, and I only have 3 in the bag, so I want to make sure that I hold on to this. I don't feel very good about doing anything with it, but what I can do is earn myself this wild, and this wild chip will also go into the bag with me. And then these grow up. Zeros turn into 1s. And 3 things increased in value. Whoa. 3 things increased in value, so we'll do 3 there. And yeah, everything's going to go back into the bag. Now, as Josh has corrected me, these will go into the bag because I am drawing and not scoring this round. And drawing 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright. So I got a couple bad things that came out, but I feel good about just continuing to roast, letting this puppy do its thing. So these are going to go up by 2. So these 1s become 3s. I'll draw 3 3s, and then these 0s will become 2s. 1, 2, 3. And I did 6 things that grew, so times 2, that's going to go up by 12. My 13 goes to a 25, so that I know I have 25 in my bag. And I think I'm only going to draw one more time. And the reason is I know I have some bad stuff in my bag that I want to get out, and so if I draw an acidity, I can go ahead and use that trash action. So I'm going to draw 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I did not get an acidity, so it makes it kind of tough. But I think I'm going to go ahead and use one of these aromas to trash. I don't like bad stuff in my bag. So I'll use that and trash these guys. And these will roast. Goes to a 0. These zeros go to 1s. These 2 1s will go to 2 2s. These 2 3s will go to 2 4s. And we had 7 things go up. So I'm at 32 in the bag, which is kind of high. Let's see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and score. First one out is a humidity. That comes out of the game. Next one up is a 1. I've got some high stuff in the bag, so I'm just going to go ahead and put the 1 in the cup. Next out is an acidity, which I don't need. Let's see, I've got 2, 4 bad things for sure. I'll go ahead and put the acidity over there. We'll see how it works out. A 0, I don't mind putting that in the cup. A body, I definitely want that in the cup. A 4, I'll take that in the cup. A 3, so I'm up to 8 in the cup, which is good. Another body, which is great. An acidity, which I don't need. And I need to make sure that my numbers get high enough. And I'm getting close to the bottom of my cup here. Another acidity. Should have been using those earlier. A 2. So I'm up to 10. Another 2. I'm up to 12. I need 3 more. I've got that, and maybe I can draw 3. And it's a 0. So again, I'm a little too impatient, it sounds like. Everything I'm doing is too low. So on my roast for the Kenya AA, Kenya AA, my roast is still a 0. My flavor profile is a 3 because I've got 2 bodies and an aroma. For my skill, I'm still going to score a 0 because I don't have the same stuff. And then my minuses, I don't have any, but I only scored 3 points for a grand total of 5 points. Guys, this is a coffee roasting amateur right here, let me tell you. So thanks for joining me in Coffee Roaster. Thanks, Josh, for the couple corrections you threw out. Those were pretty helpful. Let me know what you guys think, either here or DMing on Twitter or over in the Slack where you guys know me. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna try and work out the lighting, get it a little more automatic, so that if things do change during the day, the camera will keep keep up. But yeah, I really do look forward to just exploring. Oh, you're right, Josh. It is 6 points. You are right. I'm not. I'm not looking at the table. Um, so yeah, that would have been 6 here and 6 here. So 3 and 6. Hey, I ended up with 11. Barely respectable. So yeah, I'm really just looking forward to exploring some and showcasing some games with unique mechanics, some quirky stuff. Look for a lot of Japanese and Taiwanese games on the stream. Most of them are going to be around 20 minutes to 30 minutes. I may do like 1 or 2 longer games every month or two. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this as a way of um, just showing what I love in board games, which is stuff that has a lot of weird social interaction. Of course, this is a solo game, so there's zero social interaction. But yeah, thanks for joining along for the first stream, the test stream, and I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. So I'll catch you guys around in whichever medium makes sense. Good night, guys.